I think one of the biggest mistakes you can do in life is to try to find all the answers from the outside and not trusting yourself and the inside. And I've seen this a lot of times, and I've experienced this a lot of times myself, where I think that I need to find the right answers, the right advice from the outside, from some other human being, and not trusting the inner voice. And I totally agree. Sometimes you need to have a guide, a mentor, or coach, or something like that to be able to start moving forward. And that's totally fine. And I even encourage you to do that. But the purpose of that mentor or coach or guide is to give that space and room for you to decide and for you to come up with what you actually want to do. So it's less about someone telling you what to do, and it's more about giving advice and giving perspectives, and also being acceptive, because that's what a great guide, mentor, friend, whoever you ask advice from, they should think about you, what's best for your life, and nobody else can know what's best for your life than you. And of course, if you act through your traumas or your addictions or something like that, that's extreme cases when you probably need some outside help and guidance. But once you've overcome a certain threshold of dealing with your problems, you need to start listening to your own inner voice. And this is what people call intuition. And intuition is such a powerful tool. And I'm just starting to learn to listen to my intuition, or let's say relearn, because when we are kids and when we don't have this programming of the school system, the media, our parents, everything, before that we have a strong sense of self and the inner guidance and intuition. And that's what I see in my kid. He knows what he wants to do. It's kind of crazy, like if we go to the store and he says, I want to eat this, he's gonna eat it. But if I say, you should eat this, he's like, no way, I won't eat it. And I think the world needs more of the intuition. People need more intuition. People need to trust themselves more. Like self-awareness and self-confidence are some of the best traits in people. And I don't mean like arrogance, like some added self-confidence and stuff like that. That's just a mask. That's not true power and confidence. Confidence is actually pretty quiet and vulnerable, and acceptance that we are imperfect and that the human race is perfect in its imperfect form. Once we start embracing that we have flaws and that we can do stuff even when we are flawed, and that's enough, that's where the true power lies. And people are so afraid of making the wrong decisions, but in the end, all the wrong decisions are the ones that are teaching us to make the right decisions. So the more wrong decisions you make, the more right decisions you will learn to make. And this is why fail fast, fail forward is a really great mantra and concept in life, in business, in relationships, whatever. Fail fast, fail forward, and admit that you're wrong. Admit that you're not perfect. I used to struggle with this. I had a crazy illusion about myself, and if somebody pinpointed that, I got mad and I tried to justify why it's not like that. And it was just like, now when I think about it and and I had a conversation with my partner today, and I just think it's so crazy to see myself like 5 years ago, and I was just like a ridiculous kid who thought so much about himself, but in the end I was so afraid. I was so afraid to trust myself, and I thought that I need to be this guy who knows everything, and I need to have an opinion on everything, and I needed to justify my worth all the time. But now, when I started to kind of go inwards, and I've gone through kind of a big personal hell that lasted for a few years. It was like this shadow work, and I went through this very dark period, and now I start to see why I did it, and I've grown so much. I've started to take responsibility of my life. I've started to share more of my stories. I've started to do more stuff. I've started to become a better father. I've started to become a better partner. And that's the things that really matter. And the mask and the illusion, that version of me, it's just ridiculous. Like, how did I think that I need to be this cool guy, and I need to be like just stupid? And at the end, I was like a loser. I was drinking alcohol. I was using drugs. I thought that was cool. But in the end, I've been totally sober for like 4 months. And it's crazy how much you start processing after you quit all that shit and the bad behaviors. And not only bad behaviors in terms of drinking or abuse like that, it's more about the daily actions and how you speak to other people, how you show your emotions to other people. And that journey, I'm really proud of myself, what I've accomplished already, because the place I was like 5 or 6 years ago, I thought I was cool, but now I see that I was just weak, stupid, and very scared. I was so scared that someone would see the human that is inside of me, that I would be vulnerable, that I would show my imperfect side. And then came these kind of, some people call it like the dark night of the soul, and that's what it felt like. But I've started to realize that that's my shadow, and once I started to accept that I also have this shadow and started to integrate it into my ego and my whole being, and this is like what Carl Jung talks about, that to become a complete human, you need to kind of accept your shadow and integrate it into yourself. And this is where you actually start to see light, and you start to see what it means to be a good human, what it means to be vulnerable, what it means to share stuff and do and serve others. So it's been a really interesting journey the last 3 or so years. And I feel like now I'm starting to really see some progress. And I also understand that there's a lot of people struggling with similar things that I've struggled with. And I feel I'm obligated to share my stories, my struggles, my wins, and be supportive of other people who might have it a really difficult time because they don't know what's happening in their mind, and they think that they're flipping out and they're overwhelmed by this anxiety, and they think that their thoughts are against them. But in the end, when you realize that you're not your thoughts and that you're only the observer, you find the gap in between. That's when something special starts to happen, and that's when you start to kind of detach and become an observant, and that's how I've been able to kind of start seeing my reactions and start being like, oh shit, like, okay, I couldn't hold myself in that situation, that was too much. And then I kind of evaluate it later and be like, oh shit, sorry, like I tried my best but I couldn't do it, so I'll try better next time. And that's fine, that's real progress. When you say that you're sorry, when you say that, oh shit, I was like, I tried but I couldn't do it, and next time I will try even better. So learning to listen to yourself and your heart, what you actually want, and when you start representing what you actually are and what you want, that's when life starts to become fun. And like, I've had a fun life even when I was partying and doing all kinds of stuff and sports, but I was actually running away from myself. And now when I've learned to meditate and go deep into myself and done like breath work and stuff, that's a whole nother world. And that's like where this stability starts to come in. And it's really interesting. And I know that my path on this creator journey is also gonna go more towards the self-awareness and the vulnerability. I still want to do branding and the whole concept because that has to do with psychology and business. I think that's one of the best personal development and self-awareness journeys, because you learn so much about yourself when you put yourself in situations that you don't understand and you need to struggle and you need to grow. So this was coming straight from my heart, and I knew I needed to do a video today, and this is what came out. I started to follow my intuition, and yeah, I'm excited where this is gonna go, and I hope you join in on the journey. So my name is Mitz. Like this video if you like the messaging, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and it's peace out from Bali. Stay cool, people. Bye.